Hello and welcome back to Checkpoint Reach podcast. I'm your host Luke Elders, ever I'm joined by my fellow gamers and friends Sun and Perks. How you doing, guys?
Good, very good, Luke. It's Christmas week, so high spirits.
Everyone's in high spirits around Christmas.
I feel that.
Even Perky.
Even me.
Get the Quality Street out.
Get
the heroes out.
Quality Street's the worst one, but yeah.
Terrible decision.
Well, funny enough, I think a lot of people will be a bit subjective as well on what we're about to discuss today.
Yeah, I'm sure they will.
Yeah, so as the title's probably given away, this podcast episode is going to be a Star Wars review. The Rise of Skywalker. That's going to be our review today. We've all been able to see it, haven't we? I'm actually going again tomorrow to see it.
You're watching it again?
Yes, with the family this time.
Nice.
Yeah, so, yeah. Well, I mean, just to start off, I think maybe we should just quickly give our overall thoughts. I mean, this is a weird film for me because I like it in some sense, but I liked it in some senses when I first seen it. Yeah. But the more and more I think about it, the more mixed I am on it because a lot of things happen in this film that I'm not a big fan of.
Yeah, I mean, I think, to be honest with you, we're probably all going to say very similar things. We're all kind of mixed. And if you look at, even the critic reviews, they're mixed. So it's kind of like, I kind of feel like everyone's got it right. I don't see many people going, I absolutely adored it. And I don't see too many people saying it's atrocious. So I think a lot of people are kind of just saying, it's just okay. But I think personally for me, I was the same as you. I came out thinking, that's right. I kind of enjoyed it. It was, it felt like a Star Wars film. So, but obviously, there is problems with it, which we will go into depth in.
We will,
I'm sure.
I don't remember watching a film ever and really enjoying it, and then coming away with so many issues with the film.
Yeah,
that's pretty much the Rise of Skywalker for me.
I completely agree.
Yeah,
that was the same for me. And like I said, the more I thought about it, the more it seemed to grate on me. Some of the decisions. I mean, we'll get started with this. I wanted to touch on the first, roughly 30 minutes or so, maybe 40 minutes of the film. To me, it just felt really rushed and choppy. I don't know what you guys thought, but it was just jumping from scene to scene. It was just like
that's because it was a rush. It's the final film in the saga, and there's a lot of ground that they needed to cover, and there's a lot that they needed to set up to actually get the rest of the film in place. And when we first talked about it, it was, right, there's this destination and this is happening. Right, quickly, get back in the ship or cut to another ship going to somewhere else. There was so many places they had to get to and find something or find someone. Or it was a rush at the beginning. Yeah,
it really was. And how many times did it seem to happen, though, in that little first 40 minutes? It was just like, we found this, we don't know what to do. Oh, by the way, this is what you need to do. Oh, right, okay, we'll go there then. Now we've spoken to you, but what do we do next? Oh, actually, this is what you do. There's a lot of exposition with it.
Yeah, I do agree. There was a lot of cuts and it felt rushed. I mean, the whole film, in a way, kind of felt rushed, but especially the first 30 minutes. But I've got to say, just going back to the first sort of 5-10 minutes, I actually thought that was really good. I thought the first 5-10 minutes were probably, one of the best parts of the film. I think it was a really strong opening. Yeah, I like
just destroying people.
Well, they just got into it, though, didn't they? There was no, messing about. It just kind of got into it straight away, which I kind of liked. Him sort of, him hunting down... Well, yeah, I guess it is hunting down, really, Emperor, isn't it? Or
that's what he was trying to do. So, he wanted to kill him, didn't he? In terms of what he was actually trying to achieve. And thank God there was no mum joke.
Oh, no. Yeah,
that's the best start.
Yeah. I kind of like the... I liked the area. I can't remember what the area was called. I don't know if you can remember where Palpatine was. I don't know if it had a name.
It does.
That big building. Yeah, or whatever it was.
It's not Ilum, is it? Or something like that.
Something like that.
It's a Sith world. Yeah.
It's a Sith. Yeah, it's like the Sith homeworld or something.
Yeah,
something
the hidden Sith homeworld in the outer regions.
And there's that bit where kind of Kylo goes in, and electric comes down. It was that's kind of cool. Not electric, but lightning, whatever it is. Kind of comes down. It's like
Yeah,
that's it.
That's it. Yeah, that is where the hell did I get Ilum from?
Mass Effect, I don't know.
Mass Effect 2, I think. Ilum. But Yeah, even when he goes down the lift, it's kind of cool. I liked it. I liked the first 10 minutes. But yeah, I think once it got past that first scene with the Emperor, that's when it got a bit messy. That's when the problems kind of started.
Oh, no. I think it started with the Emperor in his speech. It was just like, yeah, by the way, everything you've heard in the last 2 films, it was me. Yeah, I was Snoke, yeah.
And then it's
just
like,
yeah, and it's just like just brushes past it. Yeah,
I just kind of meant
what happened.
Sorry, I just meant with the cutting and stuff.
Oh right,
more the actual cinematography. What do you call it? Cinematography, I guess. But yeah, I know what you mean. That was a bit like okay then. But at the end of the day, I don't know if that was JJ's fault because he was left this by Rian Johnson, wasn't he? How do you explain Snoke? I mean, Rian Johnson just killed Snoke off like that. I mean, how are you supposed to explain
This is the biggest problem with it all. I said to Perks, the day after or so we watched it, I said, for me, this is the biggest problem. The story is all over the place because they hired 3 separate different directors, then they didn't like this, so they changed one director, and then they changed another director, and then, just one, I wasn't control, but they had, with the Solo and stuff like that, they changed directors too. It was just all over the place from Disney. It's like, I rather would have had George Lucas put together the story for the final trilogy to finish off his saga, basically. Don't let him produce or direct it, but at least have a story in place that you can stick to no matter what. It's been all over the place.
And it's like, even if I guess they weren't going to ever do that because of the whole, fallout with George Lucas and all that and Disney, whatever. But why not just have J.J. Abrams do all 3 films? Okay, maybe it wouldn't have been as good as it wouldn't have been as good as the original trilogy, but it would have been better than what we got because at least it would have been more, more coherent. Even, do you know what? Even Rian Johnson doing all 3 films, just because at least it would have been like, you could have gone, okay, this is his story. He might not have liked it, but it would have made sense, maybe.
Well, what I don't get is how does a massive company, giant company, whatever, like Disney Corporation, not have a roadmap for this, and yet with Marvel they had a roadmap where they wanted to get to. How did they not have a story for 3 films? It literally was like, there's the first film, great, Rian Johnson picked it up and went, okay, I see where you're going with that, I don't like that and that, I'm going to change that. There you go, there's the second film. And then J.J. Abrams come back in and went, actually, I don't like that and that, so I'm going to change all that again. And it's like, what the hell?
That's the nail on the head, though, with the change of direction from 1 to 2 and then again from 2 to 3.
Yeah.
It's bad though, isn't it, from that point of view?
Yeah, I mean, because you get left with the situation you have at the beginning of Rise of Skywalker, because it is literally like trying to turn the ship back around and being, this is why it's so rushed, because it's like, not necessarily things that might have been fully explained or put together in The Last Jedi, but maybe we wouldn't have needed such a rush in the first 30, 40 minutes of this film if he'd also had the last one, because maybe some of these destinations or maybe some of these characters or MacGuffins would have been touched on and at least given the viewer something to go off before jumping in all at once right at the beginning, saying this is the reason that this is going to happen and this is the dagger and it's got Sith writing on it and that explains this and oh look, here's Lando in the back of a, I don't even know, horse and carriage type thing. Like, what's going on? It just
was a bit weird.
There was so many things that I think even if they were hinted at in The Last Jedi, might have been a bit more tolerable at the beginning of this one.
Yeah, I agree. And speaking of the beginning then, with the Emperor, obviously one of the main parts of this, they tried saying that he was apparently a part of the plan all along from the first 2. Funny that. There's no hints of him.
I'm not quite sure about that, to be honest.
So anyway, but what do we think of the Emperor in this film?
I liked him. I think he was one of the best parts of the film, to be honest with you. But I think Ian McDiarmid, who plays him, he's a good actor, isn't he? To be fair, I've always thought he does a good job with the Emperor. I know there was a few. I know what people are going to say in the original trilogy.
The fight.
Yeah, I know, but I think that was probably more bloody, George Lucas messing about and stuff like that, really, rather than him. I think, some of the dialogue was bad, wasn't it? Let's be honest, that he was given. But to be fair, him himself, he plays that role well as the Emperor. I mean, he's been the Emperor in everyone we've seen. So
you like Zombie Emperor?
Yeah, I did. I didn't have a problem with it, really. I mean, I didn't even have a problem with the Emperor being in it, because it does make sense, doesn't it? In terms of he is the main Sith Lord.
Doesn't make sense to me.
No, he's dead.
He's dead. He got beat.
Yeah, but it makes sense in terms of why I can see why they put him in it. That's what I'm saying.
I think they panicked. I think they
probably did.
That's why they put him in. So I don't understand why they put him in. They should have. They shouldn't have killed Snoke, because they should have had someone as the new. At the end of the day, for me, obviously personal opinions, but Anakin and Luke effectively defeated Palpatine. Then there's peace, or however long, but then there's the rise of a new baddie. That's fine. It's not going to be peace forever, is it? It's just what happens. But don't bring the same guy back, because now when I watch Return of the Jedi, at the end when he gets thrown down that pit into nothingness, I'm like, oh yeah, I didn't beat him.
Doesn't matter. Yeah, that was one of my biggest problems with a lot of the things in this film, but the legitimizing of how and why, and I know the universe that it is, it can always be made up, that something happened out of nowhere, and there's a lot of sort of Deus Ex Machina about it, but come on, like, really necessary? I understand why he's there, because, hey, every fan's going to lose their shit when they realize the Emperor's coming back, but I would have much preferred a villain to be introduced in The Force Awakens, i.e. Snoke, and it runs through this specific trilogy. That would have made more sense to me. It's just more believable.
I didn't mind it. I like the Emperor in the film. That was all. I thought he did a good job. So
yeah, I like
we can say what we want about,
well, but I would rather it was just in a different direction. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and we probably all would, to be honest. If it was like, if we, like you said, Snoke probably would have been a better choice to have from the original one up to 9, but for some strange reason, they didn't do that, and you can blame that on The Last Jedi, because why did they kill him off? It was so stupid. But considering they had to shoehorn the Emperor in, I think it kind of worked. I don't know. I mean, it's not going to work 100%, because, like, as we know it, they've kind of just shoehorned him in, but I thought he did a good job. I think, So.
Well, yeah, acting wise, everyone in this film is all right, but
yeah,
I just don't like the fact that it does undo things from the original trilogy for me.
Yeah.
So that is one thing why I didn't like him. Like, I don't mind having him in the film, but if Snoke and that was alive, fine. They could have said, like, his Sith ghost was, knocking around, because there's always Jedi ghosts, isn't there? So that would have been fine. But to have him actually as a being in the film, I don't know. It just seemed a bit of a stretch for me. But obviously, he's then given orders, isn't he, to Kylo?
Yeah,
on what to do, and he emphasises that he really wants the girl. He wants Rey.
Well, yeah, it's funny though, because although, to be honest, Kylo pretty much ignores him from the start. All along, doesn't even really follow him, does he? He's just kind of leading them on. He's leading them both on, Kylo, to be honest.
Yeah, they pretty much both on Rey, don't they?
Yeah,
and Kylo kind of pretends, doesn't he? Like, oh yeah, okay, I'll listen to what you're saying, but really he's got plans to kill him all along. But because he wants obviously Rey to join him, doesn't he? That's kind of the point in the whole film. Like, he doesn't actually want to kill her. So
he doesn't, but obviously the Emperor wants her.
Yeah,
and that becomes the big reveal of the film. That we finally get to find out that Rey's a Palpatine.
Yeah, granddaughter of the Emperor. Now, this is I think this is one of the areas where it kind of fell apart a little bit, didn't it?
Bullshit.
Yeah,
Come on.
It's just really, like, the worst part, I think me and Bert were saying this yesterday when we were talking about it, is it doesn't make any sense. Like, especially the bit with it. I think the worst part was the fact they introduced her parents, and it was like, well, what? So
just farmers.
So they're just normal people. They don't have any sort of Sith influence. I mean, do we know which one is the mother or father? Which one is related to Palpatine? Is it the mother or the father?
It doesn't.
We don't know. It doesn't say.
I thought it was the father.
Was it the father?
But
right.
I might be wrong.
Maybe it was, but it didn't explain that very well.
But it doesn't matter. Like, that's the thing. Like, it has no relevance whatsoever. Which one of them? Oh, it doesn't really matter. So what you're telling me is the only way to legitimize it is that back in the day, the Emperor was a bit of a player.
Well, yeah.
had a child that didn't realize that they were the son of the Sith Emperor, or daughter, whichever way it was supposed to be. And then they also had a child, and then the knock-on effect. Well, come on.
Does it skip a gene, the Force-sensitive stuff, though? How come
possibly.
How come his son or daughter, whichever one it was, wasn't powerful in the Force?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Either way, the Emperor was a player. That's
That's
the only way to legitimize it.
Are they trying to say that maybe he had this child when he was the Chancellor? I know he was the Emperor as well, but I'm saying, like, are they saying when he was kind of more normal?
I don't know.
The chance when he was kind of, because I can't see. Did he have like, maybe he had like a wife or something? I don't know. As the Chancellor, I got, who knows, honestly. Like, because we don't know, do we? Because we have to make it up now. Because
I guess it'll be fleshed out in books and comics, but
yeah,
like
probably,
you said, we don't really know, do we? It's left you there asking more questions, really.
They make you wait from the beginning of this trilogy. Rey's parents. Who is Rey? Why does she not have a name? And it's like, you get to the big reveal, and it just, for me, is like, really? That's how you're gonna legitimize it? That's your tangible explanation? Like, I'm not buying it.
Yeah.
I don't mind the fact that she's a Palpatine. That's okay. I do mind the way in which it was explained and revealed.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's just, I mean, it explains why she's been so OP. But
yeah, and she fights like the Emperor does.
Yeah.
So we said that, didn't we, in the first one? I remember. Yeah.
Well, you know what's quite weird? Honestly, with this film, it's literally like they've gone onto Reddit. That I heard some other YouTuber say this, and I was like, it's spot on. It's like they've gone onto Reddit and gone, right, what are people's theories and what do they like? So they like Reylo. They like that apparently he's the granddaughter to the Emperor. All right, we'll do that.
We'll do that.
Sounds good.
There you go. There's your third film. It's what?
That'll do for one of the biggest franchises in film history. That'll do.
Yeah, that's the wrap up.
Yeah, it's like as if it's some indie film with a budget of like £1 million. No, that'll do. We'll just do that. Yeah, it is a bit. It feels a bit amateurish, doesn't it? Really, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
When you think about it from that point of view,
it's just I don't know, Palpatine being a Palpatine.
Yeah, I didn't.
I just wish it was legitimized in a better way, and I keep using that word, but it's true. Like, you watch it, and did anyone really sit there and go, "Oh wow, that completely makes sense"?
No,
not really.
No, not really.
I mean, do you guys think it's the worst possible outcome for a parentage, or do you think it would have been worse if they'd have just made up, "Oh, Kylo was right, there were nobodies"?
I think I would have disliked them being nobodies more.
Yeah, I mean, so it could have been worse, I guess, but not much.
He was technically right. They were nobodies.
Well, yeah, I suppose technically he was right. But
I'm kind of with Perks though. If they'd have told it me better in a better constructed story, I probably would have been like, okay, okay, I can see where you go, and that makes more sense. It's just like, oh, by the way, Palpatine had a kid somehow. Don't know how. Oh yeah, they had another kid, and for some reason she's. Oh yeah, he wanted her dead as well.
Yeah,
that's another part of the story. He wanted her dead. That's why they fled.
Yeah. But it makes no sense, because it's like he wanted her dead, and then later on it's like, oh, actually, no, I want you to kill me. Like, what? Like,
yeah,
it's just such confusing. In the end, it's like, oh, yeah.
I don't know if he just said that to, like, mind games or something. I don't know. But again, just more sort of round and round, like, what the hell?
Yeah. But what? Well, I mean, do you think the clone theory would have been more suitable then?
I'd have really liked the clone.
I think it would have made more sense.
Same.
It would have made more sense in the Star Wars, like, because they were cloning. It's not like we know there was a cloning facility on Camino. I mean, they were cloning people. Mm-hmm. Like, it would have made more sense. They would have had the facilities to do like cloning of Jedis and stuff like that. So, and
Palpatine's come in contact with all the supposed Jedi it was going to be that cloned into Rey, or helped create Rey. So that
would have made more sense.
What do you think?
It's part of the whole saga, which
exactly,
a large part of it.
It's like anyway, a neat bow, isn't it? All makes sense and intertwines. What do you think about Rey overall? Because from the first film, I really liked Rey. Second film, it wasn't that I disliked Rey. I just didn't like the film, and I felt like she was a bit too OP. And then this film, again, it's not. I didn't dislike her. I think I like her as a character, but she's just like. She gets, so basically in the film, she can heal now. I don't know how she learned that.
Force healing?
That annoys me.
Force healing? Just like that? I mean, I know it's in the games and stuff like that, but how she learned all this?
Well, I mean, obviously the scene later on with them both doing it, it's like, oh my god, I was just like, this is so stupid at this point. But yeah, I don't like that whole like I think you said it as well, but let's introduce a new thing in the last film. It's like that never works in films in a trilogy.
Well,
it just
my
never
biggest
does.
Problem with it's not that they introduced a new thing in the last film, full stop. It was that they introduced it and then they used it again and then they used it again, and I just kind of sat there like, oh, come on.
Yeah, we should explain. So they go to that like the desert-looking planet. I can't remember the names, and basically they're looking for the Sith the Sith dagger, aren't they? That will lead them to find like a holocron that's not a holocron, but it basically is a holocron that will lead them to the world where Palpatine's on. Yeah. So basically, they fall into that quicksand.
Get sucked up.
Yeah, Luke's already been on that planet looking for this dagger, and he couldn't find it. Him and Lando, but they luckily fall through the quicksand, and there's a massive snake thing.
Yeah, some weird serpent thing.
Yeah, it turns out it's her, and Rey just out of the blue just heals it. It's just like, oh, wait there, and she goes slowly towards it and heals it, and you sat there like, okay, yeah, cool power, but at what point have you learned this? It hasn't been hinted at in any other film that you have that sort of power. Okay, Leia trains her at the start a little bit. You see her training, don't you? A tiny montage.
Yeah.
But you don't get told, like, it doesn't show her learning big powers.
Although I guess we don't actually know the time length, do we?
Apparently,
it doesn't.
Apparently, this film, honestly, I've heard online, apparently this film takes place within 16 hours.
But, I mean, that's all. I kind of wish you hadn't told me that. To be honest,
I don't know how true it is, though.
I mean, if that's true, that actually, I'd rather not have known that.
Yeah,
that's really bad. I mean, at least like a year or something, they could have gone like, all right, you know, she could learn probably a few new things in a year.
Oh no, sorry, I don't mean between Last Jedi and thingy. I think the events of the film.
Oh right, no,
16 hours.
I meant between Last Jedi and this. That's what I meant.
Oh, right. I must admit, I'm not sure.
Because you would assume it's a year or two, right?
I'm assuming so.
I mean, come on. Like, she wouldn't have been able to learn them things.
I mean, if it was 16 hours, then...
Well, that's what I was like, what? Like, this has been ridiculous.
Went to bed, woke up, learned Force skill.
Yeah. But, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I suppose powers are always... Jedi powers are always going to be a part of Star Wars, and they should, but... Like Pert said, it was just overplayed. They used it too many times, at least 3 or 4 times it was used, and it was like, and then it's like, oh, Kylo can do it as well, and it's like, oh, this is kind of stupid now.
I said to you though, I am okay with that because they're one is the same or two is the same. What was that stupid tagline they said? Like the two of us are as one.
They've got the same
whatever.
Power,
they're basically the same person.
Yeah, and also at the end.
Yeah.
How, by the way?
I don't know. They didn't really explain it properly.
Legitimize that again.
It was something to do with when she crossed lightsabers or something. I don't know. It didn't.
Here you go. It's one of the biggest plot points of the whole film. One of the biggest things across the last 2 films, at least. It's not been explained to us once why that. I mean, someone might correct us, and it might be in the film, but it ain't obvious.
And how? Like, what about that part where Kylo kind of somehow has the lightsaber in his hand from like 100 meters away? Well, she just apparently teleported it.
Well, they set that up, don't they, with the bit, when he grabs the necklace on the desert planet.
Yeah.
He grabs it off her, doesn't he? And then he's like, oh.
And to be fair, they have had similar interactions throughout the trilogy in terms of when they were in those like vision worlds and they're like having things connected.
But no one else, I don't remember anyone else having like that. Has anyone else had that connection? In the 9 Star Wars films, it's like I don't know, it's a bit weird.
Definitely not the films. Maybe
that's what I mean. It's kind of like I don't know. It's just a bit. It doesn't like this is the problem with the cohesiveness of the films, isn't it? This is one of the issues. Things like this happen, and it's like but
it's annoying because I do actually really like the like telepathy or whatever that they have in that sense. That's really cool, but again.
Not explained.
Like you've got
why they got
Rey Palpatine and Ben Solo. How are they like?
Yeah, it makes no sense.
The same
They're not related.
Person with that same power. It's a bit bizarre.
It is, and then obviously, this is another bit that I don't think I like very much. Was again on that planet. I should really have learned the name of it, but. Chewie gets captured, doesn't he? And this is when you get the...
That was so stupid, by the way. Can we just go back to how he gets... ridiculous. How thick is Chewie at that part, by the way? Just walks out and literally just, they're going for a stroll.
Has a little jog in the sand.
Like, what is he doing?
Yeah.
That really wasn't filmed very well.
No.
Like, and then the next scene is him just in a collar, like, oh, right, oh, he is going off to be like a Wookiee slave. Like, great.
Yeah, because Finn comes down, doesn't he, after it? Because
like shouting, like Chewie.
Rey's seeing Kylo's TIE fighter come towards her.
Yeah,
it's a pretty cool scene, I guess.
Yeah, but we've seen it in the trailer, So
Yeah,
we saw the
that's
exact
true.
scene in the trailer, so it's like it wasn't like, oh, what's going to happen? We knew what was going to happen because we've seen the little flip in the trailer, the first trailer.
Yeah, but we didn't know that she like cut his TIE fighter.
No, we didn't know that
and then
part.
they had like the
But I'm just
standoff.
saying-
I actually quite like that part.
I didn't like the bit leading up to it because it's like, I've seen this. It was kind of boring. It was like, yeah, well, I know what's going to, I know that you're going to flip.
I did like that scene. The only thing I have about it is Kylo's ship just blows up and he comes walking
blows
out
up
like
and
nothing
apparently
happened.
like just gets out. I mean, I guess they're going to make up he just apparently opened the hatch or something at the last minute, but come on.
I don't know, force deflect or
Force something or yeah. I mean, I guess his force powers would probably like mean he could like
Survive
take less damage, but surely he'd still be like injured. He just came out of it like he wasn't even injured, like didn't have a scratch on him.
Yeah, it came out like a fucking movie scene in like a James Bond scene, didn't he? It was flames
walking over the sand.
Yeah,
maybe he's auditioning.
Hey, maybe he is. Yeah. Well, and then obviously Chewie's captured, and Rey Finn shouts to Rey, Chewie, and then she instantly knows he's in the transporter apparently, and then she is able to stop that transporter leaving the planet. She's that powerful.
That was another problem I had, to be honest. I don't think any of them two should be powerful enough to do that, to be honest with you.
I've only ever seen that power in the Jedi Force Unleashed.
Yeah. Well, not just that. Like, I mean, do you remember? It goes back again to inconsistency. Because what is it in Empire Strikes Back? Is it Empire Strikes Back where Luke tries to lift the thing out of the, on the Dagobah? Yeah.
The X-Wing, yeah.
And, like, obviously Yoda does, doesn't he?
Yeah.
But he doesn't do it that, like, he doesn't, that's an X-Wing. It's not like, that's a hell of a lot lighter than what that transport.
But we see
thing.
Luke being trained to do it as
yeah,
well.
exactly.
Like
exactly. And it's just like, oh, apparently they just know how to do it. And not just do it like, oh, they're struggling, like with ease, pretty much, it seemed like.
Yeah.
It seemed like with ease she was managing to, like, stop that.
Yeah. And then, because obviously Kylo joins in, doesn't he? Because he's trying to push it away or whatever.
I guess it makes more sense that Kylo would have more power than her in terms of maybe more training. But even so, himself, he's not exactly, a sort of really experienced Jedi.
See, this again, I mentioned it before. Rey, I actually like Rey as a character. I like Daisy Ridley, but at least tell us or show us how come why she's so powerful. Okay, yeah, she's a Palpatine, but she's not been trained to use these Force powers correctly, has she? It's like in The Force Awakens, she has Jedi mind trick to get out of Starkiller base.
That was a nice fan service, wasn't it?
It was, but still, when you think back, it's like, Jesus,
annoying,
she was powerful enough to do that as well.
She also had the thing where she like completely messed with Kylo's head when she was being tortured in The Force Awakens.
I forgot about
that. Are they
going
to try?
She just like did it instinctively. That's the reason.
Yeah. That's true.
It's hard to believe that's the thing. It's cool things that happen, but then you try and explain them, and you just kind of have to say, yeah, because that's the way it is.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's just
flesh them out.
It takes something away from me. Yeah.
I'm with you.
Anyway, back to one of the coolest scenes in the film. They're both struggling with this Force battle over this ship.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, Rey basically reveals to everyone that she's a Palpatine anyway, because she fires a lightning bolt at it and just obliterates it. Bits go everywhere. I'm sat there in the cinema thinking, oh my god, they've done something controversial. This is amazing. Rey's killed Chewie. I can't wait to see how her arc goes from here. She's going to be well conflicted. Oh wait. No, that didn't happen at all.
Was it like 3 scenes later?
Like 2 minutes later.
Minutes, if that.
That's Chewie.
Well, I don't know how you felt about it, Luke. I guess maybe you're in the middle more. Me and Perks we talked about this a little bit. We had different views on this. Obviously, Perks said obviously it would have been really great if Chewie died. I mean, personally, I've got to be honest. I was in the cinema, and when that ship blew up, I was quite disgusted. Actually, I would have been pretty disgusted if Chewie had been killed. Only because for me,
off screen.
Yeah, it's crap. It's like, come on, like it's not a heroic way to go. It's a terrible. Like, if you're gonna kill someone like Chewie off, it has to be like heroism, surely. Yeah. This is Chewie, for God's sake.
Did you guys like? And I'm not even exaggerating when I say this, because I always think it's nonsense when I read it online or see it in a video. People in my screening actually gasped when that ship blew up.
Yeah, there was a few people,
and that's why I liked it, because I was like, they've
pretty shocked.
Done something that's completely unexpected. Fair enough. Fortunately, it's a bit of a crap way to go. There's no like
terrible
heroic moment there, like you said. But it actually shocked people, and people were like, "Oh my god, what?" and then they just took it away straight away. They didn't even let people believe it, and that was my issue with it.
Yeah,
I think my problem with it. So I was just going to say my problem with it at the time when it happened was because I thought, really? Are they really going to do that and then just have it as, oh, we had to do that because it was like, do you know what I mean? Without giving any sort of like good reason to do it. I just had a horrible feeling that it was going to be like, oh, there was no reason for Chewie to die.
I think, like you guys have alluded to as well, they should have given it time to breathe. Like, let people really believe, oh my god, he's gone. Let Rey believe it, so there's more of an arc to her. Then we can find Chewie. I mean, unfortunately for me, I guess, or fortunately, whatever way what side you want to look at it, I seen Chewie with Lando in the Millennium Falcon in the trailer. So when that happened, I was like, he ain't dead.
Yeah, because you haven't seen that in the actual film yet. So
exactly, but there were, like you said, audible gasps. Yeah. People were like, oh my god, they killed Chewie. And it's like, yeah. It would have been cool if they'd have let that sit for just a little bit. But it was so quickly done. It's like, we killed Chewie. But I bet you feel sad. Nah, psych, he's here.
Nah, don't worry about it.
But do you know what's hilarious about the thing? I kind of like half joked. I was watching my girlfriend and I half joked to her at the start of the film. Like, I swear, if they like do anything to like Chewie, I'm walking out the cinema. And then that happened, and we both just looked at each other like, here we go. Yep.
Goodbye, then.
Well, luckily enough for you, you stood up, put your jacket on, then you looked up and he was on screen again. So you're like, oh, I'll sit down.
Yeah. So, like, yeah.
Pretty much.
But it was quite a funny moment, to be fair. But I wouldn't have been happy with it if it, like, I get where you're coming from. Perks. It would have been one of them where I would have reflected on it if they'd have done something cool with it. And like, oh, Rey's really conflicted now, and is she going to? Then I would have been like, okay, it kind of made sense. But I when it happened, I just kept thinking, I know it's going to be pointless.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it did turn out to be pointless.
Well,
so I was quite relieved actually when he wasn't dead.
Well, just jumping on a little bit, we go to the next world planet. Can't remember what it's called, but it's the one with obviously Poe's friend on there.
Yeah.
And she's a new character introduced, and one of the first things, she's dead angry with Poe. You left me, and then literally again,
she's going to shoot him.
She's going to shoot him, and then literally one of the next scenes is like, take this medallion and you go and use it wherever you want. Have faith in the resistance, and she loves him again or something. It's like, what?
Yeah,
these characters, man, they just flip on a switch.
What annoying? No, it's bad. I don't think it's the character that's bad, because I actually think that character seems like the sort of character with more time would have been a good character, maybe. But again, I don't know. Would you say weak writing maybe at that part, because it just felt a bit, Even that whole planet scene, I was one of the most probably boringest scenes in the film. I don't know if you agree.
Babu Frick.
I didn't like it. It was
Babu Frick was funny.
Yeah, no, he was cool. But I mean, I just mean the bits leading up to that, and it was like, it was a bit slow and ponderous, wasn't it? And a bit whatever.
That was kind of like the casino planet from The Last Jedi. That was the moment where it was like, here's this random planet that you don't even really need in the film. This is the segment, and if you don't like it, well, it doesn't really matter because this planet's useless, other than the medallion that gets them aboard the First Order ship, because of course it does, because everyone has those medallions and we've seen them before. Again, just another MacGuffin that's thrown in to be like, oh yeah, well, why would you question it? Of course there's medallions like this. I hate stuff like that, where it's just there's nothing about it. It's just, oh look, I'll pull it out of my pocket. We haven't seen this in any of the three films. Makes no sense, but yeah, there you go.
And we have another fake death scene, guys.
Well, yeah.
C-3PO. They go to wipe his memory. They're like, yeah, he won't remember anything. He's going to be gone. It'll basically be a new character. And then all of a sudden you hear, yeah, but R2-D2, doesn't he have the memory file to restore it? Oh, yeah. Yeah. So C-3PO looking at...
Apparently.
Just looking at all my friends for one final time, or whatever he says.
Yeah.
See, that's where I would have been like fine with him going.
Same.
They gave him a good
that made more sense, and it's like he's actually done something ridiculously useful. In the plot, to be honest. I mean, the most useful thing in the entire trilogy, probably, if you think about it logically, because it's like gets them the location of the final base. I mean, it's like, but. Yeah, it's just like everything though, isn't it? Like you said, Percy, even though I wouldn't have personally enjoyed Chewie going out like that. It does smack again of this safety of like, oh, we have to be safe. We can't take any risks. Like, oh no, bring him back. Mm-hmm. It's like, you know, it gets a bit much that for me after a while. It's like, that's kind of boring now because it's predictable, you know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, did anyone really think C-3PO was going to go after that? I don't know. I kind of thought he'd probably come back in some way.
Well, before they said about R2 having the memory backup thing, I kind of did because I just thought, hey, if they didn't get rid of Chewie, then someone has to go that not necessarily you're not expecting, but come on, I mean, it is a droid. They do have that, and it comes to an end eventually. And
well, it's happened before. Their memories have been wiped before.
Drama. Yeah,
their memories were wiped at the end of episode 3.
They were.
Everyone forgets.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
that was to explain why they couldn't remember anything in the original trilogy.
Well, but at least that made... Yeah, but the thing is, right, I know that was silly, but it made sense. It made sense, didn't it? Why they wouldn't remember.
It did. But, also, when they do save Chewie, it's hinted at the start that there's a traitor in the First Order, a mole. And it turns out to be General Hux, who is arguably the worst general in the last... Well, in the saga.
Ever.
Again, this is another problem I had, to be honest with you. Like, again, did that make any sense? Not really. Why was he a mole?
Because he didn't like Kylo. Well, that's pretty much it, isn't it?
So he wasn't a mole. He's only just become a mole, then, hasn't he? It's
he's only
recently. It's not. I guess that makes a little bit more sense. But it smacks of just desperation, doesn't it? And like, quick, let's think of something to try. You know, I don't know. It just that fell a bit lame to me.
Yeah, like I wasn't a massive fan of how it was played out, but I will say this: at the end of The Last Jedi, and as The Last Jedi progressed, really, you could see Hux having a bit of contempt for Kylo, not necessarily agreeing with him, or basically thinking that Kylo was going to take all of his power away, essentially. So it did make sense more than some of the other things, but I just wish it had a bit more oomph to it.
It's because they.
But would he really take that risk, though? Like, if you actually think about it logically, did he really hate Kylo that much that he'd risk his entire life, basically? Because he knew as soon as if he got found out, he's dead.
Well, they made him out to be like a snivelling coward, so I imagine he would, if that's the character arc. It's just funny though when he like saves Poe, Chewie, and Finn, and he's like, "I'm the spy." Like, we know.
That was quite...
Yeah,
we got it.
2 minutes later, Dad.
That was quite funny.
Pointless.
The new guy, the new general, who's actually quite good in it, he kills him.
Well, he's actually not new, though, is he? Because isn't he in the...
Oh, well, technically...
Technically, he's not new.
Yeah, technically, because he's
the last one, isn't he, from...
the Empire.
Yeah, the original.
Yeah, from episode 7? 6? 6. He's the last one, isn't he, from episode 6?
Is that who it's meant to be?
I'm pretty sure he's supposed to be the last general, just older.
Right.
Because that last general was a bit younger, wasn't he, if you remember, in episode 6? He was maybe like in his early 30s.
Yeah, they
like
do the nod to that when he's like on his knees talking to the Palpatine like hologram thing, isn't he? Yeah. Like I did in the old days.
How did he survive? Another plot point, how would he possibly survive?
Just because.
See, I'm not sure it's the same guy. I think he's just the guy who served under Palpatine, but he's just there now. He's just risen the ranks.
I assumed it was the guy from episode 6.
But now Sid said that, I'm not too sure. I did just assume it was a random general from back in the day.
Yeah. I don't know. Whatever.
Well, I think we go to a new planet on the Endor system.
Yeah.
And we do, because we go to the wreckage of the Death Star, and we get the throne room that's completely intact from a destroyed ship that fell from space. And a throwback, obviously, to Return of the Jedi, but it does bring one of the better scenes of the film. I liked when Rey fought Dark Rey.
Yeah, they did it well. They did that well. I actually think that whole bit from then onwards was good for the rest of them. So, like, I even like the fight with. All right, we're going to come on to the
fight with Kylo,
to him getting stabbed or whatever, or stabbed with a lightsaber. But I mean, just before that, the fight was good. I thought with that was actually they were done well, weren't they? Like the cuts were done well there. Actually, that was one part where I was like, oh, that's actually done well.
Yeah, that was done well.
Like the whole flips and stuff were cool. Like, I like that.
Yeah,
but then we obviously got into it.
Harkens back to Empire as well when Luke fought Vader, but it had Luke's face in the mask, didn't it? When he fought in the dark side plate or the dark side cave on oh my god, what's the planet called? Where Yoda is?
Dagobah.
Dagobah, of course. Yeah, on there. So, again, some more fan service in a way, I guess.
Yeah.
And then Kylo turns out to be in the throne room as well, and they have a pretty good fight, I think, on the planet with the water, or like rough ocean or whatever it is.
Yeah, the giant waves.
Yeah, I think that's quite good.
Pretty cool.
I liked it. Yeah, I was saying
considering lightsaber duels are in incredibly short demand throughout the whole 3 of these films.
Yeah,
that was a big problem with the whole trilogy, there wasn't it?
Pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, they needed more lightsaber, because for me, I always felt in this bit like they're not going to kill each other. I mean, granted, technically I was wrong, but I was like, they're not going to kill each other because he wants her and she needs him to find out where to go, to what planet, to find the Emperor. So I was a little bit like, oh yeah, let's just get this over and done with. But this is where Kylo's redemption begins, really, isn't it? Because Leia, by the way, we should touch on Leia, considering Carrie Fisher's passing. I thought they did quite well with what they had.
I actually thought they did it really well. They actually did the scenes with Leia really well. I was surprised. I was thinking it was going to be a bit like, God. You remember in Rogue One? They weren't done that well, were they? The scenes with the CGI,
wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. That really wasn't good.
I was thinking maybe it was going to be like that again, and
there was only a little bit of CGI with her, the young Luke and young Leia. Yeah, he was training her.
But they did it well. They did the scenes with her well.
Yeah, so
I was okay with it. I quite liked it.
Yeah, I'm glad what they did with Leia in the film, and she uses her Force powers, doesn't she, to basically stop Kylo from killing Rey. He looks like he's about to finish her off,
and then inadvertently gets him killed.
Well, yeah, because he decides to actually stop, and he drops his lightsaber, doesn't he?
Yeah, because he's so shocked at hearing his mum's voice.
Yeah,
which I've got to say, in the lead up to this part, I said to Sud after it, I felt it was really predictable what was going to happen. I don't know.
You thought she was going to kill him and heal him?
Not necessarily kill him and heal him, but the whole Leia getting into his head, because of the way it ended with Han and stuff, I could kind of see that's how they were going to get rid of Leia and. Some in the place, like between them or something. But I knew she was basically going to get Kylo killed. I had a feeling about that.
Yeah.
The way it was done, though, was surprising. I didn't expect him to have a lightsaber stuck through his stomach.
No, neither did I.
I guess that was supposed to be a little nod to like, oh, look, they were trying to be all like, oh, is Rey going to, weren't they, and all that at that point as well.
But again, though, it's another moment that hits you really hard. It's like, oh my god, Kylo's actually. Oh wait,
no, he's not.
No, he isn't.
Because a minute later,
she decides to heal him.
Yeah.
And she'd say what? So she gives a bit of her forced life to him. Is that how they explain it? Like, to heal someone from death, he dies. So
he didn't actually die, did he? He was like gasping and like leant up against that wreckage, like almost dying. So he hadn't completely gone just yet. But
it was pretty much as good as dead.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll. I mean, obviously we're not on to it, but we'll come on to an even worse part where that's used at the last part of the film.
Yeah, 100%.
Awful. But
was this the bit as well that he revealed to her that she was a Palpatine?
I'm actually.
No, that was on the ship before she jumped into when they flew the ship to try and she jumped into Finn's arms or whatever to pull herself back on.
Oh yeah, of course. He revealed that on the ship. Yeah. But and then obviously she decides to heal him, and then she goes off, and that's when he has the memory flashback. Well, appear, and it's Han Solo.
Yeah,
Harrison Ford.
I like that.
Real Han as well, not even like a Force version, just a Kylo thought memory that's real.
Didn't know memories were a thing in it, but I like this.
It was a good, another fan service moment, or bringing Han back, but it's fine. It made sense in the context of the film. So
yeah, bringing Han back and having Kylo say again to Han, "I know what I have to do, but I don't know if I have the strength to do it." Kind of obvious from Force Awakens, but it's an acceptable moment for Kylo's redemption.
For me,
I even like that.
The only way he could have been redeemed was if Han was the one who was like, the way they did it basically. Because I was one of the people who didn't want him redeemed because he killed Han Solo. But if Han Solo is the one telling me he's good now, then I'll go along with it.
Yeah, you can buy it.
I mean, I did want him redeemed, but I just wanted him redeemed fighting Dark Ray, but that was never going to happen. So,
nope.
Unfortunately,
it's way too dark.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, that would have been a little bit, I think, with Disney.
No, it would have been good, wouldn't it? Let's be honest. That would have been more interesting, but we're never going to do it. So.
True.
But yeah, what do you think about him throwing his lightsaber? I didn't even mind the fact that he threw it in because it kind of made sense. It actually made sense that he threw it in. Yeah, it made sense, didn't it? Because it's like he's throwing away Kylo. He's not Kylo anymore.
True. Yeah.
So it
makes it more human, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there was a metaphor, wasn't there, with the lightsaber being thrown? So
yeah,
that part of him was gone, I guess.
It was.
Kylo, that part. Kylo Ren was gone. Ben
Skywalker.
Ben Skywalker. The Rise of Skywalker, which
that's
we know
why
is now we know why. Because it's actually technically the entire trilogy is about Kylo Ren. And
Skywalker. You could kind of say it pertains to Rey as well, given how the whole thing ends. But
well, no, because I'm not accepting that. It's ridiculous. So, but anyway, we'll move on to that.
Anyway,
we'll get to that in a minute. I want to touch on this scene with Rey and Luke. She's basically on Luke's planet and is going to throw her lightsaber into the fire because she's burned everything, the TIE fighter that she robbed off Kylo and stuff. And Luke, Force Ghost Luke, can catch a lightsaber, which, why don't they just fight if they're that powerful? They'll be like the undead army in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
That would be an overpowered army. So he catches the lightsaber, and what does he say?
Deserves more respect.
Yeah. Deserves more respect. That is such a dig.
Rian Johnson.
Dig. It really is. My God, there's a few pot shots in this film, but...
Do you think he wrote that?
Yeah.
Yep.
Really?
I do.
Massively, yeah.
I liked it. I actually liked that line. It was good.
Wait, even
if you take the whole Rian Johnson thing out of it, it's a good line anyway. At that time, it makes sense.
It is, but I even touched on a point as well with Perks. As he's talking to her, she says, "I'm going to do what you do. I'm going to stay on this planet," and he turns around and goes, "I was wrong to do so."
That was a mistake.
That was a mistake, and then there's like a little pause. Yeah, and then he speaks again. It's like he's saying to Rian Johnson, like, you know, you messed up, Luke.
Yeah,
that's not how Luke should have been. And I know.
Well, he's right.
Well, we agree with him, but a lot of people don't. There are
a lot of people do, though, don't they?
Like Luke, the way he was portrayed. It was.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he basically gives her a pep talk, doesn't he? And
and then as the Force Ghost, he rises the flipping X-Wing out of the sea. Okay.
Well, Yoda did it, didn't he? Oh, no, he didn't do it as a Force Ghost, did he? No, he did it as an actual...
No, he burnt the tree, though, in Last Jedi, didn't he?
Well, let's not talk about that.
I mean, you've just said it, Eldon. It's like, if Force Ghosts can do things, catch things, move things, have the power to rise a ship out of the sea, why are they not there fighting?
Yeah, why can't they just be normal Jedi? Why can't Luke go and chase down the Emperor?
Yeah.
Like, you know?
It makes no sense. If the Emperor was that powerful and that bad, you'd think they'd band together to just stop him.
And considering at the end of Last Jedi, Kylo's got that massive walker bombing down shots on Force Ghost Luke as he stood in that white, red, deserty planet, where I can't remember what it's called. And if he can do things, well, he could have just done whatever he wanted.
Yeah.
If he can't be hit, but he can control things, well, that's the most overpowered bullshit you've ever seen. So why are they just not having like Force Jedi and Force Sith in the Ghost forms having like unwinnable wars with each other? There's a lot that I can't really take about that. It
opens like a whole different can of worms, doesn't it? I mean, I know you're meant to just sit there and be like, okay, I'm not, let's not question that, move on, but
people want something tangible though, don't they? They want a reason. Like, come on.
I'm with you.
Either way, I'll stop my rant on that. But yeah.
Well, we'll jump forward then towards the end. Obviously, when Rey confronts her granddad, Palpatine, the Emperor.
I guess at the same time we've got the whole big final battle as well.
Oh yes,
I did want to mention. Well, I did want to mention. Yeah, which the Star Destroyers are cool, but I think one thing I wanted to mention was a little bit later on in that when apparently the entire galaxy is unified against them. Yeah, okay. I mean, I hated that. I've got to say, I hated that.
It's because Lando and
Chewie
went round in the Millennium Falcon and getting them together.
I remember seeing that and thinking,
Wedge Antilles, come on, he's back.
There's literally like 10,000 ships or something. It's like, where would they possibly find that many in that ship?
What's it that guy says as well? He's like, what's he say? Where did they get that fleet? That's not a fleet. It's just people.
It's just people. Terrible. I had a real problem with that. That was one of the biggest problems I had in the film. The fact that apparently they just had this massive army. Stupid. It makes no sense. It doesn't make sense.
It makes sense in terms of what Star Wars is, in terms of hope and how good and coming together will always beat evil, and you can never overpower the will of humanity and people and the good side. So I got it. And you could see it coming a mile off when like Poe was flying around and everyone was asking what the next move is, and he was like,
getting killed around him.
I'm done. Like, sorry guys, it was obvious, but again, it's one of those things. It makes a bit more sense than some of the other bullshit in this film, but still, like, come on.
But the film.
Can I just say I didn't like the Star Destroyers having Death Star power guns.
No, that's what I said to you, isn't it?
Attached to him. Yeah, we spoke about this.
So we've had the Death Star, we've had the Death Star rebuilt, we've had Starkiller Base, and now a fleet of Death Stars, basically. Like, just let it go. Make something else. Make another planet-killing power. Stop doing the same thing.
And they're on a planet where they can't leave by themselves. They have to be navigated by a little signal.
Yeah, because the entire fleet is controlled by a little radar tower.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know.
See, it's a cool look. Stupid. When you see them all, it's like, that's cool. But I wanted to see them actually in battle and stuff. They were just stationary because they couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
When you saw that fleet in the trailer when they were first revealed, and like with the Emperor's voice coming back, I was like, "Oh my god, that fleet is amazing! I can't wait to see what that." Oh wait, it's the most easily beaten fleet we've ever seen.
Yeah, by civilians. It's like another problem. It's like, come on, it's just annoying. It annoyed me. That whole battle kind of. It was cool. It was cool. Like, it was cool. It was again good cinematography and stuff like that. It was good scene, but I just didn't like the whole thing about it being like, oh, here they are, come to rescue them. I understand, look, it's Star Wars, whatever, but I don't know. Just annoyed me a bit, to be honest.
Well, it's understandable, but I did see it coming. Like Perks has touched on, it is very Star Warsy.
Yeah.
The moral of the story. I
guess.
Then, obviously, let's go to Palpatine then. He's talking to Rey. He's basically trying to convince her, you strike me down and you take the throne and become the Sith. And he's basically hinting that, like, to me, I got that basically he's going to control her once he kills her. He will take over her body, or at least influence her heavily.
She'll be a vessel, wouldn't she, for him?
Yeah,
that's basically what he says, that he's going to live inside her, isn't it? Like his spirit's going to be inside her.
Yeah, and then we obviously get the part we thought was going to happen. Kylo is on his way back.
He kind of
comes back. And then, we've got to touch on one thing:
the Knights of Ren.
The Knights of Ren.
The Knights are pointless.
Come on,
the Knights are pointless. Yeah. Well, I mean, I didn't like the weapons they were using.
No, same.
They're stupid. Like, oh look, here's some like baseball, not baseball. It's some wooden plank. Basically, like, oh yeah. Well, it may as well have been.
I actually thought when I first heard about the Knights of Ren, I assumed they'd be Jedi that he'd taken off Luke, sort of thing,
like apprentices or something.
Yeah, and convince them to join the dark side.
Yeah, I didn't.
And by the way, how easily does he dispose of them? I mean, I know they've been in the film and they haven't really done much.
They give him a bit of a battering, don't they, at first? They do kind of rough him up a bit.
Yeah, it's weird.
When he's just fighting without the lightsaber.
Yeah, without lightsaber.
It's so weird seeing him run in with a gun.
7 or more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of what's weird.
But the Knights of Ren was such a waste.
Mm-hmm.
Like, built up over 3 films as being this like dark force that you never really get to see do anything. Oh my god, what are they actually going to do in the end? They're going to die like stormtroopers. Good one.
They've
got such a good name as well.
Yeah, I know.
Knights of Ren is such a good name.
They could have been utilised so well. But they were hinted at in Force Visions or whatever, past visions in the first one. Not used at all or mentioned in the second one.
No.
And then in the third one, they're there, but he might as well have just not had them there. But
Yeah.
I guess they were needed to
Even
slow
when they
down
have that
Kylo.
moment where they walk past the stormtroopers and one of them goes like, Knights of Ren.
Yeah,
That's
no.
cool, or something. You just think,
that.
I can't wait to see what they do, and they do nothing.
They
die, so why not?
But obviously, Kylo comes to join Rey in a battle against Palpatine.
Doesn't last very long.
No,
I mean,
Palpatine does what he should. Beats them pretty easily.
He literally beats them within about 5 seconds, which is fine because it makes sense, to be honest with you.
And then he starts draining their force power thing.
Yeah.
So he becomes more powerful, but not more powerful. Not powerful enough to electrocute Rey because she blocks with lightsabers, and again it goes back on him.
Well, yeah.
Dual lightsabers because she's got Leia's lightsaber now.
Again, let's flesh it out a little bit. She apparently, we're supposed to believe, has the power of pretty much every Jedi behind her, and that's how she ends up winning that duel.
But the Emperor has the power of all the Sith. So...
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be even then? Because...
no, because good overpowers evil.
Well, no, that's rubbish though, isn't it? Because they always talk about... Again, another problem I have with the film, and it's, I guess, another scene... We'll come on to it maybe a bit later, the scene where, they're all talking to her in her head. We hear Anakin in that scene saying, like, bring the balance back to the Force like I did, Rey. Yeah. Well, she doesn't do that. It's ridiculous. I hate it. It's stupid. And the fact that she wins so easily against him, apparently. Not even like, I thought it was at least going to be some, 3 or 4 minute battle where eventually she wins. That would have been fine. But she literally, overpowers him within 15, 20 seconds, and it's like, this is... Yeah,
especially when she brings out that second lightsaber, lad. Lightsaber, she's got him.
2.
It's a stalemate, but they're 2.
It's way too much.
Luke and Leia.
And she has her Iron Man moment, basically.
Yeah.
I am Iron Man, and I am the Jedi, or whatever.
I didn't like that.
I actually liked the bit, though, when she did ask for the help of the Jedi, and you get all the voices from the past. I thought that was
I like
nice
that.
fan service moment.
I liked it. But then when I heard that Anakin one, it was fine at first, but then was it 5 minutes later? It's like, then I thought, oh, hang on a minute, I'm sure Anakin just I don't like it. I don't like the hypocrisy, to be honest, of that scene. And it's like, but to be fair, what I will say about that scene is the bit before that, I did, for me, bring the bit where he overpowers him and it brought out probably one of the best scene in the film for me, when the Emperor shot his lightning into the sky.
Yeah, that was quite cool.
Space and all that was cool, wasn't it? I mean, I like that a lot. The way they shot it, the way it happened, the way it was like, oh look, they're going to win. It's like,
pretty much disabled the Resistance fleet, didn't it? Well, fleet, whatever you want to call it.
Well, unfortunately,
shut down everything.
They then ruined it by making up that they were all about to crash, and then all of a sudden, they just found their power again right at the last minute. I mean, it just, This is the. I think this is the problem.
They didn't just find their power again, did they? The lightning stopped and the systems came back.
But what I'm saying is, at the last second sort of crap.
Yeah, but that's the whole Deus Ex part of the film. There was so many moments where it's like, oh look, there's no possible way that something can happen.
And then all of a sudden, 1 millimeter away from crashing. Oh.
Yeah.
There was
could have at least had a lot of them
something
crash,
that happens in any film.
Yeah, they could have at least had half the. Why couldn't they have had it where half of them die? Like, why? Why couldn't they have had that? Why? Like, it seemed like every single ship just about survived.
Because it had to be good. Like, they had the few deaths, like Poe's.
Yeah, all right.
Poe's close people died, didn't they, when they crashed into the side of the fleet? But
I was told to be more positive.
Right. Yeah. So it was a very good film in the sense of good prevailing at pretty much every cost. So.
Yeah. There was one moment though I did like when made me realise like, oh crap, he is the last Skywalker, when Palpatine throws Kylo down you think he's fallen off the edge, and he says something like, I was defeated by a Skywalker before, but you're the last one, or I'm not going to be defeated again, or something.
Yeah, that was cool.
And throws him away, and I was like, cool moment. I was like, oh yeah, he is the last Skywalker. This is it.
Yeah. Well, I've got to be honest, I didn't think he was dead when he got through. I knew he wasn't going to be dead.
No one did.
He wasn't dead.
So obvious he was going to do the whole Obi-Wan, like, hung on.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we should mention, this is it, isn't it? After Rey defeats Palpatine, basically, and he just gets destroyed. What, blows up? What was it?
He just disintegrates.
Yeah, so stupid.
And then she's dead. At that point, she is dead.
Yeah.
And
Apparently.
Kylo rushes over to her aid, and I guess he gives his life for her, doesn't he?
Well, yeah, that's what I was saying this to Pert's. It was a little bit confusing for me at first because I was thinking,
he's just
healed. Does this mean he's using what life she's give him back? If that makes sense.
Oh right, I see what you mean.
That's what I was thinking, but then I think, to be fair, Pert, you kind of explained it.
I got it as he just
in
gave
a way
his whole life force energy
but...
back to her, so he sacrificed his life for her. That's all.
But he got the life force energy originally from her.
No, because they were the same.
They're the same.
Yeah, exactly. So they were the same, but just in two different people. So in doing that, he gave up his life, like you said. Like he gave, just said he gave up his life and that power for her. So,
right, fair enough. But I didn't like the fact that he just disappeared straight away. I didn't like that. I thought
he didn't. Yeah, no, he didn't. That's the worst moment of the film.
Yeah, not straight away. That is a good point. No, not.
There was enough moment for the most awkward kiss in the Star Wars saga.
Why did they do it?
Why? Just because some people out there on Reddit and stuff are screaming for Kayla. Kayla?
Service, I guess.
You can't even say it properly.
I don't want to. Raylo.
And I guess it's supposed to be like, oh, you're Ben again now, or whatever, but it's like, I just...
And they
could they not have just hugged? I said to you, Eldon, the other day. And
they could have had a hug, couldn't they?
Just be siblings. Don't have to be like lovers or anything. Just be siblings. Have that embrace and like disappear in her arms or something like that. So much more impactful than this cheesy kiss where it's like, oh, cringing.
Oh, I literally dropped my head in the cinema because I was just like, why?
It was bad.
No. They had that moment as well earlier on, and she hinted it, didn't she? Hinted towards it because she was like, I would have taken Ben's hand.
Yeah.
And at that
guess
point,
that's
I was
why
like,
they've done
oh
it,
no. Oh no.
Look, it's Ben now, so now I can take your hand, but it's like...
I'll take your tongue.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. But
I took your life.
I mean, I did have a problem with that, but obviously I had a problem with that because it was bad, but I don't know. I also had a problem with the fact that he disappears. Like, what? Like, I get that they disappear, but not that... Like, why didn't Rey disappear then? When she died? This is that.
That's a good point.
It makes no sense. Why would she not disappear? She's dead.
Needed enough time to be healed, revived.
She's on the floor like Fleurs that has the ray gun.
As soon as it's like 5 seconds after that kiss, it's like...
Yep.
I didn't like the fact that he just went straight away, and it makes no sense because Rey was like, dead for like 2 or 3 minutes or something?
Yeah.
I mean, well, why wouldn't she disappear?
Felt like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
But Kylo's redemption was complete.
Kylo's redemption was complete.
It was, because it's hilarious how we haven't even come on to the worst part yet, which we will in a minute, with the whole ending.
Well, so obviously you have the little cheering moments, woo, we won, and all that lot. We'll just skip to the main ending. Back on Tatooine, she visits Uncle Owen and Aunt Peru's igloo house thing.
Yeah.
Uncle Owen and Peru.
And she's looking at the two sons. Or it might be before the two sons scene, but that old woman comes over, doesn't she? And what's she say? Not many people around here anymore.
Yeah. Can I just say, before you carry on, one thing that 2 seconds later I was like, you're an idiot. My first thought was, for some reason, is that Aunt Peru, but then I was like, no, because Aunt Peru was charred to death. So like,
Aunt Peru, we've seen the skeleton. She's gone.
Yeah, I know, but for some reason that just came into my head for some reason.
No, she came back. Yeah. Like...
She survived. It wasn't Aunt Peru.
Yeah.
And obviously, you get that moment. Rey looks off to whatever side, and there's Force Ghost Leia and Force Ghost Luke.
Yeah.
And she answers Rey
that was a Star
Skywalker.
Well, the Force Ghost thing was a nice Star Wars moment, I guess.
But... Yeah, I guess, but taking up the Skywalker mantle, the Skywalker name.
Because again, well, I just want to go a little bit rant here, because I was ranting to you, wasn't I, Perch, yesterday about this. It doesn't make sense. Throughout the entire film, they've been telling her, be who you are. Don't be scared to be who you are. You know? And then it's like, oh, actually, I'm going to pretend I'm not a politician. I'm a Skywalker now. I've pretended. Makes no sense.
It completely went against everybody telling her.
It ruined that last bit of the film for me.
Exactly what you've just said.
Yeah, it made no sense. They've told us throughout the film, don't be scared of who you are. And then it's
in the very final moment
so
of the entire saga, she's afraid of it.
But what about if she wanted to be a Skywalker, so she's who she wants to be?
Rubbish. No, sorry.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
It's rubbish. I mean, I just no.
But again, the rise of Skywalker. This is what I said before. It pertains to her as well because she's decided to bin off the Palpatine mantra and say, "Hey, I'm Skywalker."
Why does it need to pertain to her? Why can't we just have Why can't people just accept the fact that actually Ben Skywalker, Kylo is the main character in the films when you actually think about it? Because it revolves around him, doesn't it? Like he gets redeemed.
I think it's hard to say he's the main character.
Yeah, he's not the main. He's got a better arc, though. He's got a better arc.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
But it's the rise of Skywalker. Like, surely it's supposed to be about his rise from,
yeah, but it could also
being
be
a former
rise.
Skywalker and then kind of abandon it and then.
Yeah,
but it's not because she's not a Skywalker.
I know that, and that's like I'm not arguing against you and your points, but I'm just saying the way that they actually
they've made out
it does pertain equally to both of them.
But what would have been the problem with having Kylo as not the main character, but it's his story really. Kind of one of the things where it's like, oh, you think it's one person, then it's actually someone else. Why couldn't that have just been the thing?
Yeah,
it's not because that would have made more sense. The story technically does revolve around him.
For that to happen, Rey would have had to been the one who died at the end.
Yeah, probably, but I don't know. It just kind of ruined the last. As soon as you said Skywalker, it was horrible.
It's like you're not.
It's not. You're not a Skywalker.
Why you always lie?
You're actually a good Palpatine. So a good-sided Palpatine. So that's fascinating as well.
If anything, that scene where it showed Luke and Leia, it should have showed like the Emperor doing a cheesy grin or something. Just like, hello.
I must admit though, just quickly, saddest scene for me was when Leia died and I saw Chewie.
Oh yeah, that was sad.
He was distraught.
I'm gonna be honest. I might have had a little bit of a tear in my eye at that part. It was sad.
Oh, I didn't even care.
No. I felt more sorry for Chewie than anything.
That's what I mean. I felt a little bit.
He's lost everyone.
I've got a tear.
Should have been dead.
I'm welling up here a bit for Chewie.
He got blown up an hour ago.
Hey, can I just say, Chewie has had it really rough.
Chewie survived.
He's lost his best friend, and he's lost Leia, who was like one of his best friends as well. It's horrible.
Yeah.
He's going to need some like employee assistance program.
But to be fair, he does get that little medal thing, which I think me and Pert said, didn't we? Was that Hans from from A New Hope?
Maybe.
I think it was. The little medal that Leia gave to Han.
Yeah.
I think that was what it was supposed to be.
Well,
because Chewie was pretty happy, wasn't he, about it? So.
It was. That was a nice touch. What do we think of the supporting characters overall then? People like Finn, Poe. I mean, Finn, Poe and Rey, were they meant to be friends? Because I know they're meant to be, but they don't come across like they're good friends. All they do is argue. I mean, like, I know Luke and Han and Leia have argued in the past, but you could tell they were friends. There was like a bond there. With these three, it wasn't developed.
It was weird. It wasn't. No, it felt like they were kind of acquaintances, didn't it? Rather than friends.
I mean, I know Finn shouts Rey every 2 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
Ray! Oh, and he loves her, doesn't he? But
he
hasn't told her.
Doesn't say anything. We never know what he was going to say.
Well, we do, but...
Well, we do, but we don't. We don't, do we? Because it never gets said, technically.
Yeah.
Could be anything.
I mean, I said this to you off air, you two. Finn could have not been in the whole trilogy and it wouldn't have made a difference.
Well, I'm going to go back to The Last Jedi here, right? And this is, again, like a big missed opportunity for me. And I know I keep talking about deaths as like something that should happen. Finn dying on that planet when he's driving the old wreck of a speeder or whatever it is into oblivion. Let him be the sacrifice, because it's an amazing moment for his character. Everyone's going to like feel like super strongly about that character for the rest of the saga, and everyone will always look back like, what a heroic moment.
Sacrifice.
No, yeah. He just gets to live through that in a coma or whatever. And then he doesn't really have much of a part to play in Rise of Skywalker. So why couldn't he have died in a really impactful way and been a massive part of the trilogy?
They also hinted at him being force sensitive quite a lot through this trilogy and never expanded on it in the end.
No.
Yeah. Well, he wielded the lightsaber, didn't he?
He gets to hold the lightsaber, doesn't he? In that bit with the snake or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Which was a bit random.
But like, he sensed a few things even in this film, didn't he?
Yeah. And I don't know what that's supposed to be.
Sensitive,
well, do you remember that part in The Force Awakens when he senses... is it the Kylo? When he's with Kylo, and Kylo they both sense each other, kind of.
Yeah.
Which is kind of weird. That makes sense.
He keeps talking to that other defected stormtrooper group, and he keeps saying about having feelings.
Yeah.
When they're, how did you know? And he's like, just a feeling. Like,
that's another thing.
Talking about the Force.
Just go back to the Lando with. I assume that's his daughter.
It feels like that scene's been cut out, and then at the end they kept that bit in, because otherwise that's a very creepy scene.
Like, so who are you? And whatever he says, and it's like,
let's go and find out.
Let's find out.
Let's find out, Peter.
It's clearly your daughter. I mean,
Well, I took it that she was his daughter straight away.
Yeah, but it feels like there's something cut out at some point in the film that's hinted more.
In the extended cut, you probably see that.
But just going back to Finn as well, we've had, for the very first time, a stormtrooper who's defected and turned good.
Yeah.
They could have used a lot with that. They kind of don't. It just falls flat in the end when you look back over it.
I actually wish they'd have done that over the trilogy. Like, he was a stormtrooper. He was still a stormtrooper going into Last Jedi. He was starting to turn in Last Jedi, and he does turn in the last one. That would have been way better.
See, when that girl talks about there being loads of them, basically, loads of defectors, and they've all done this, that, and the other, would it have been a bit more viable, and a bit more viable, even, if they were the fleet at the end, like a bunch of defected stormtroopers that came to their aid, like, actually, we're the good guys.
Yeah, I mean, it would have made more sense than what happened.
I would have liked that.
Yeah, that would have been cool, I think. Definitely would have. What do we think of Poe overall?
Fine. I
preferred Poe to
like
Finn.
Poe.
And I also like the fact that they made his character do something of importance. Like, he had a lot of cool pilot moments in Rise of Skywalker, and he filled the role that he was supposed to fill. So I like that.
Yeah.
I like Poe. He was fine.
He was good. Anyone else really to touch on? Rose in this film, what was the point?
Wasn't in it. Surprised she was in about 2 scenes. I think she was in it for like a minute.
I'm surprised you remember her name, because she wasn't even... she was just a nothing.
I kind of feel like, sorry for her. The backlash that she got seemed to have impacted this film for some reason.
I feel sorry for her anyway, because she was used so badly in The Last Jedi.
Yeah, it wasn't
probably not her fault. It's not like she's a bad actress or something. She was just used terribly. She just wasn't a great character, unfortunately.
I didn't like the relationship between her and Finn, and I'm glad that J.J. Abrams took it away. So.
No,
it felt forced.
I'm the same. I didn't like her relationship with Finn, but she could have still played a part in this film. She doesn't have to go out with Finn, does she, to be a character in the film?
No.
I mean, you set her up in The Last Jedi to pretty much mean something, at least.
Yeah.
And then in this one, it's just like, oh yeah, you remember her? She had that thing with Finn a little bit, I guess, but nah, don't worry about it now. Yeah.
Again, though, that's it. The directional changes. Abrams saw that, and he was like, "Nah, that's not a thing whatsoever. Stop wasting time." Like, if he would have had The Last Jedi, Rose probably wouldn't have even been a character.
Probably.
Another confusing thing with just the romance thing as well is how in this one they kind of tried to portray it as a love triangle, didn't they? A little bit between like Poe, Finn, and Rey, and then in the end it was like none of them. Like, no, sorry, Kylo. I love Kylo now. It's like that was quite weird as well.
Unnecessary, like, as far as I'm concerned. I don't think it did anything to benefit the film by doing it. So.
No.
Well, let's finish up. We'll finish up with an overall opinion of the sequel trilogy. Has it been a success, and has Disney failed with it? It seems that, to me, my opinion, Disney's dropped the ball because I don't mind this film. I think it's all right. Second one, Last Jedi, I didn't like. Force Awakens, I liked. But the story involved is not coherent. It's not cohesive. It's just a mess for me. It's an absolute mess.
Yeah,
and it's taken away from it for me. Because did the saga need this? When you look back now and you actually look at the story that's involved in this one, did the Skywalker saga need this?
No, it didn't need
Final 3. I don't think it did.
But people always argue that the prequel trilogy wasn't needed. There's people that argue that still, that say the original trilogy should have just been left alone.
True, but have you noticed the prequels get a lot more love now because of the sequels?
Oh yeah, people will be saying the prequels are amazing. It's like, well, not sure about that, but
I honestly feel like you could watch The Force Awakens and watch The Rise of Skywalker, and then near enough just continuations. Obviously, you have some big moments in The Last Jedi that happen, but you could skip that film altogether nearly.
But I will be doing that if I want. I'm not joking when I say that. I will be watching them apart from The Last Jedi. I'll even watch Rise of Skywalker. I'll watch Rise of Skywalker because I enjoyed it. I thought it was fine. Not brilliant, not the one of them. It's probably in the bottom 3 or 4 Star Wars films, but it was okay. You know what I mean?
This is the strangest thing, though. Like, and I feel like we've spent the last hour and whatever we've done, like nearly an hour and 15 minutes, bashing it.
But it was an enjoyable film.
We all quite liked it. We all come away and thought, yeah, that was kind of decent. But I think, like you said, Luke, a few minutes ago, it's like, how do you see this as like an overall thing? And it does lack that coherency. It lacks the viability of a real story because of all the plot holes, because of all the jumping from place to place and person to person just to get it done and get through it in a way. Mm-hmm. It feels bad to kind of say, yeah, I loved it, because there are so many problems. But in terms of a watch, kind of a good film.
Yeah.
I would watch it again.
I mean, yeah, where would you rank it in terms of like, where would you put it like over and under things? Because I personally would probably put it under everything apart from 1 and 2, and obviously Last Jedi. Them 3. I'd put it above them 3, but nothing above.
Worst one in the saga, Attack of the Clones. Second worst, Last Jedi.
Yeah.
Third, Phantom Menace, and then
this one.
Yeah.
Well, I'd have that, but obviously just with the bottom 2 switch for me, with Last Jedi worst. But
yeah, I don't really disagree with either of those, whichever way you want to look at it. It's not the best, it's not the worst. It does fall somewhat in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's saved by the fact that it's actually an enjoyable watch. If it wasn't an enjoyable watch and it had so many holes in it like it does,
it'd be where Last Jedi was.
It would be a Last Jedi. Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Well, there you go. I think that sums it up nicely, and that is where that'll end our review. And there is our thoughts on that. Oh, I'm going to do that again. Yeah, that sums it up. So that's our Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker review and our little mini review of the overall trilogy, I guess, at the end there. But thanks for joining me as ever, guys. Will be a while before we have any more Star Wars films, as Disney has said there's going to be a hiatus.
Yep, that's true.
And that's the end of the Skywalker saga, so we'll never see it again. Well, never say never, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, there'll be remakes, probably.
Wow. Sure, they'll remake them. We'll definitely remake the original trilogy, and that's when it'll be dead, probably, for us Star Wars.
I don't want that. I don't want a remake of the original trilogy. I must admit,
it'll come.
If we have to wait a few years and they come at a new saga with a fresh idea, and I know that good will always have to triumph in the end, make it a little bit darker and a little bit more adult themed. I'm down for that. That's kind of how I hope they progress with the new sagas.
It'll have to be at least 4 or 5 years for me.
Yeah. I'm okay. I need a break. I feel like I need it.
The rumours are that it's going to be around that sort of time period.
Yeah,
so
good.
Yeah, we'll wait and see what happens with it. It doesn't ruin my love for Star Wars overall. Still love it. So it's just the way it's gone, unfortunately, with the sequel trilogy. But yeah, you can find Checkpoint Reach Podcast on social media at CheckReachPod. That's on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Also on YouTube. So if you're watching us on there or listening to us on there, give us a like, comment with your thoughts on the film, and that'll really help the channel to grow. And we're going to leave it there, guys. So we'll be back next week to talk more gaming news, though. Have a good week, lads, and we'll chat again soon. Bye.
Bye-bye.
May the force be with you.
Cheese ball.